What do you do if you signed a plea agreement, yet you did not break the law? Another idea. What do you do if you signed a plea agreement and at worst you think your sanction should have been handled civilly, not criminally? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video today, to ensure if you sign this plea agreement, you're doing everything you can to prepare for the shortest sentence. And I wanted to film this video because recently I gave a lecture at a university, and the student following the lecture said, "Justin, why was your experience through prison so productive? Well, why was it easier?" My response included, I did it. I broke the law. I deserve to be punished. I deserve to be held accountable. So knowing that I did it made my time in prison, standing for count, separated from my family and community, and enduring all of the consequences, it made it easier because I did it. And also I'm competitive and driven. I want to create a new record and prove worthy of the love and support of my family, all the things I write about in the lessons from prison and all of our materials and all that good stuff. But generally it was easier because I did it. What if you didn't do it? That's what I want to talk about in this video, and ensure you're doing everything you can to prepare for the best possible outcome. To do that, at the end of this video, I really encourage you to go to sentencingadvice.com, where we put a link to some case studies, including one with a client, Brandon, who was convinced he didn't do anything wrong, yet took a plea agreement and managed the process more productively because he knew he wanted to get the shortest possible sanction. So like I say, these videos are useless unless you take the time to implement what our team teaches and writes about. And that's what you got to do. So coming back to approaching this, what you need to do, if you look at this like a business deal, well, think of some business deals you've done in your career. Not all of them are easy. Some of them have been tough. Sometimes during the deal, you say, "Oh my God, this is awful. This is miserable. I just got to get it done." Well, if you signed a plea agreement and you have acknowledged that you broke the law and maybe created victims and said that you were sorry, you have got to own it. If you are unable to do that, let's talk about what's going to happen. Even if you don't think you did it, even if you don't think you broke the law, let's talk about what's going to happen. You're going to approach a sentencing hearing where the judge says, "Yeah, you broke the law and you pled guilty only because you got caught, or you cooperated only because you don't want to go to jail. I'm not a buyer." So if your actions leading up to this sentencing don't align with the signing of this plea agreement because you are convinced this indictment and guilty plea is unjust, you're going to get the double whammy. One, you're going to get the felony conviction, and two, you're going to get a measurably longer prison term. And I serve time with a lot of those dudes who spend their time in the chow hall complaining and lamenting over the government and the judge and the prosecutor and the life they used to have. I get it. I empathize with them, especially if they didn't do it. And it's very cliche and sensationalized on television when they say, "Oh, every guy in jail says they didn't do it." Not true. A lot of guys like me say, "I did it." I certainly know I did it. But a lot of people who are there should not be there, and the sentences are far too long. So what can you do? You've got to have like a two-tiered approach, a two-pronged approach, I should say. The first approach is doing and saying whatever you have to do to get the shortest possible prison term. If you sign the plea agreement, you may not feel it every day leading up to sentencing. Indeed, a number of our clients at White Collar Advice may plead guilty, don't necessarily feel as if they did anything wrong. And then time in memorial and introspection down the road, they'll say, "Yeah, I did it. I kind of understand it now. I see it differently." Some never got there and say, "This is the biggest injustice of the century." But you've got to approach it from, "I'm going to get sentenced and I've signed a plea agreement. And like some business deals suck. This sucks that I had to hire a lawyer and this cost me my career. And when I Google myself, I see these press releases and I've got to say that I'm sorry for something I didn't do." Why? Because the odds of prevailing are so low at trial. I don't have the resources, potentially cooperating witness. I don't know all of the details. What I know is you signed a plea agreement. You have to own it. Like I talk about, or we interview federal judges, I talk about in that 4-point video with Dr. Phil. Own it. Lessons learned. What will you do moving forward? Only if to a degree you're saying it only for sentencing. Just like some business deals, you have to say and do something to get it done. Then after you're done with probation, then when you're on the other side of this, you can create and craft a different message, like some clients of ours have done, who write about the injustice, who talk about overcoming despite this injustice, who talk about lessons they've learned. But if there's one thing you're going to take from this video, I hope it's this. I know many of you watching this are innocent. I know many of you have been trapped in this wretched system through no fault of your own. I know many of you are angry and sickened, and in many cases, your careers are imploding as a result of something you don't believe you did. I'm sorry, and I empathize with you. I am truly sorry. I know it. I've been doing this for 12 years, and our team in White Collar Advice has had 1,000 clients, and we work with a lot of people. I know many of you who come across this channel should not be here, unlike me. But you've still got to prepare, because life will be easier for you on the other side, easier for your family, for your children, if the sentence is shorter. And that's kind of how I'm going to wrap up. In Lessons from Prison, which of course you can still get, I talk about sort of the ends justified the means. I said before sentencing, whatever I had to say to the judge to get the shortest sentence. I'm sorry, I identify with victims. Let me send some money back. I'll never do it again. I didn't really feel it at the time, not till I went to prison. Well, learn from me. Is it disingenuous? I don't know. Is it unethical? I don't know. It's unethical that so many people are indicted who shouldn't be, right? Is it fair that they come after you when they shouldn't and you're just going to roll over? No, you've got to tell them what they want to hear, and you've got to do it persuasively, and you've got to do it over an extended period of time. Yes, what is it, Alyssa? Would you like to shamelessly promote the book before? What do you want to tell everyone?
This is my daddy's book.
Is that the whole shtick?
What?
The whole thing? Is that the whole sales pitch?
No.
What else would you like to say?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's a wrap. Okay. And that's actually how I'm going to wrap up this video. If you are okay, thank you. I love you. I'll be on in just one second. Okay. That's how I'm going to wrap up this video. If you are immersed in the criminal justice system, I want you to approach this from the idea that this is a business deal. Or as one client said to me years ago, Justin, my boy, the biggest fraud or lie I'm ever going to tell in the history of my life is that I did this. This plea agreement is the biggest fraudulent thing I've ever done. But he said, I have a wife and children, and I want to get out as quickly as possible. So I'm going to sign it. I need you to coach me to show that I'm genuine and I'm remorseful, as hard as it's going to be, because I don't want to make matters worse. He approached it like a business deal. And because of that, he got, 10 months instead of 3 years, which is what the government wanted. Learn from him. Go to sentencingadvice.com. Read those case studies. If you want to speak with our team, we're available. If not, that's okay too. We just want you to be successful as we traverse the system. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go have dinner with my daughter.
I'm not having dinner. I have to take the boringest thing in the world.
Okay.
The bath.
Okay, we're going to go take a bath. Thank you all very much for watching. This is what happens when you do videos from home, and this is the way it works. Thank you very much for subscribing to White Collar Advice. And if we can be of value, please reach out soon. Look at this like a business deal, and you'll get a better sanction. Bye-bye.